while everyone's getting sorted out here, I think we're a couple minutes past the starting time, and I think everyone's joined us. I'm sure a few more people will join us over the time, but I think we're ready to rock and roll. You ready?
Let's do it.
Okay, fantastic. Are you able to share your screen and all of that as well?
Yeah, let's jump into it. But before we start, can I get a quick feeler for who here? I'm just trying to see who's here. How many of you actually use any sort of positioning framework or strategic approach to your content or to your sales strategy right now? I'd love to know. Even if it's like okay, it looks like Brian, I think everyone will, yeah, there we go. I was going to say you'll want to make sure that you're messaging everyone instead of just the host and the panelists all day, every day.
Some of you guys are still messaging the host and panelists only. So if you want to switch your chat settings, the little blue icon, the blue thing down there, change that to everyone. That way everyone can see your message as well. But fantastic.
Looks like we have mostly no's. We have an all day, every day, which I love. And then we have Aaron who says, I use heyLevi and I'm not using it to its potential. So let's fix that today for sure. All right. Okay. So it looks like there's a good mix of folks who use a prompting strategy. If you'd like to share, please share in the chat, like what is your basic approach? And then we'll ask again once I share my framework. And this is from 14 years of being in the marketing industry. This is just the framework that I've come up with. Some of you may have already heard me talking about it. So let's jump in. I'm going to share my framework with you guys first to show you how I have approached positioning and messaging after years of doing this.
Ruheen, if you don't mind, I'm going to sort of put you on the spot here. We were at the mastermind in Dallas for a high level, the advanced mastermind there. High level asked you to come up to the stage and talk about positioning. What caught my attention was you talked about a story around, I believe it was the iPhone and then the Amazon product, right? Would you, when you go into the framework, would you share that as well? That was very, very interesting and it was enlightening. So I want to make sure everyone hears that also here.
Absolutely. Yeah. So let's jump into the framework. What Dan's referring to is my whole journey with the whole positioning framework actually started in 2012, where I was a part of the marketing team that launched the iPhone 5. I know it's a really long time ago, but I promise there's a reason we're bringing it up. There's a huge lesson in there that we can continue to apply to our businesses even today. And then 2 years after that, in 2014, I was also part of the Amazon Fire launch, which don't worry about it if you've never heard of it and you have no idea what that is. There's a reason for that. So here we go. Let me share my screen. I don't know if sharing screens works after I go like presentation mode. So let me do that first. And then I have a very wide screen. Is that showing up okay?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I have a 4-step. It's actually a 5-step, but there's like this pre-step that I like to do, and then it becomes a 4-step framework. So let's step through it. So the first thing that you want to do is, I know a lot of us shy away from our competitor analysis, right? Like who, what, and who are our competitors? And our competitors may or may not be other businesses that offer the same thing to the same audience or a similar product or service to a similar audience. But what your competitive alternatives are. Let me make sure that I still have the chat open here because it just disappeared. But yeah, let me know if you guys know what the difference between a competitor is and your competitive alternatives are. At least the Amazon Fire launch was
difference
like,
between a competitor and competitive alternatives. If anyone knows the difference between those two, please say yes or no. If you do, feel free to let us know.
Yeah, and by the way, Jeff, I'm going to come back to your comment about the Fire launch being good. It was a huge flop and Amazon lost a lot of money on that launch, and we're going to talk about exactly why. Okay, so the difference is a competitor is what you're probably already thinking of. Your competitors are people who are other businesses who are probably serving the same audience as you and have similar offers, right? That's what we already know. Competitive alternatives are anything that your prospects are currently doing to solve the pain point that you solve, what they're currently doing instead of using your solution to solve that. So that could be a competitive product, or it could just be trying to watch YouTube. YouTube might be your competitive alternative, like DIY videos on YouTube. Your competitive alternative could also just be nothing, because depending on how severe the problem is, your prospects may not even realize that this is something that they need to solve right now. Any indirect competition. Yeah, exactly. So, well, I don't know about that, Andy. But yeah, so anything that your prospects are doing, you want to be aware of all of that, because I know a lot of us like to say, I've heard people say this, that, competition, what competition? I'm the only one who does this. And unless your prospects are saying the same thing, you don't want to be saying that, because you want to actually meet your prospects where they're at when you jump on a sales call or when you're talking to them, whether it's through your written content or anything else. You want to make sure that you're speaking their language, so that when they do have a sales objection, like, hey, I know you're offering, and I know this is a sore point, so don't come at me here, but I know you're offering high level. I've seen so and so offer high level at a much cheaper price, or I can go get this from high level themselves. And then a lot of us freeze, right? Like, we don't know what to say to that. And then we're trying to come up with features and snapshots and things that maybe they haven't seen. So anyway, all that to say is that your first step is to know and be really, really clear on what your audience is doing instead of using your product today. Okay, and how that compares to what you do. So you already know your product, you know what your product does. Now you know what your competitive alternatives are and what they do. Now you want to figure out what are your unique attributes. What is your product or offer? What do you do right now that nobody else is doing? And that can just be features. You can talk about your snapshots or whatever else here, right? So that's your first step. Now, a lot of us think that those unique attributes are our unique value proposition. That is our positioning, right? How many of you think that that's what your unique value proposition is? What you do that your competitors aren't doing? What are the comparative alternatives to GHL? Well, that's a different question. I think the question that you may be wanting to ask is, if you're a white label agency, who are your comparative alternatives? What are people using instead of your solution to serve their market? And again, depending on the niche that you're in, that could be another high level agency. It could be high level themselves, or it could be Excel spreadsheets, like, what are people doing instead of using an actual CRM?
So whatever this problem is that you're trying to solve with the feature that you're giving to them, what are they doing today to be solving that same exact problem? They could be doing something, they could not be doing something, right? So what is that that they're using today to perform those same tasks? That's that.
Exactly. Yeah. So a lot of these suggestions are exactly what it is. People are using these software, and some people are just not using anything. They want to do email marketing. They're doing it from their Gmail accounts, right? So anyway, so that's the first step. Okay. So this is not your unique value proposition. You want to, now this is what you take and plug into the framework. So let's look at the framework here. There we go. Okay. So step one, you now have your unique attributes, right? So that's what you're going to plug in here. Now you want to think about how these attributes, these unique features or attributes or whatever it is that you do or you offer that your competitors aren't offering, what kind of value is that giving your audience? Okay. Just think about what that benefit is, right? So we've all heard people talk about, you want to talk about your unique features in terms of the benefits, right? So this is where you want to talk about the benefits. So what is the overall value or set of values that these unique attributes are going to give your audience that they're not going to get from anywhere else? That becomes your unique value proposition, the value that your unique attributes are giving. So that's your unique value proposition. That's still not your positioning, as you can see from this slide, right? I was going to do this fancy, like, one step, I'm going to reveal it, and then I ran out of time. But anyway, so it's not your positioning. So that now that you have your unique value proposition, now you want to ask yourself, okay, who cares? Right? You already know your audience. You started with a product. I'm sure you think you know your audience really, really well. But it's really cool to see if you come to this step and if you have your unique value proposition, and then you ask yourself, who actually cares about this value, right? The answer might surprise you. It might be the target audience that you're already targeting. More often than not, it's either a whole different audience or it's a segment of that audience, which is why audience segmentation is so, so important and so key, right? Okay, so now that you've asked yourself who cares and you've identified the specific market segments that are going to care about this, now you have what it takes to make a sale. Because now when you're on a sales call or you're talking about your product, it becomes really clear, this is what I offer, this is what you can't get anywhere else, and this is why you would care about it, right? This is what you're dealing with day in and day out, and this is why it's going to change your life. But if you want customers to be sticky, you don't want to stop there either. And that's what leads you to your positioning. You want to ask yourself, okay, who cares and why do they care, right? So once you have your who and your why, now you have customers that are not just converting, but who are staying with you and who are sticky customers because now they know you've already answered through your content, through your sales calls, handling their sales objections. You've already answered those questions of why they should care and why this is going to be something that they shouldn't be living without. So hopefully that makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions. Did that like light up any light bulbs? Like, do you guys have ideas on how you can already apply this to whatever you're already doing with your positioning, whether you have a framework or you don't have a framework? Did this add any value to your current approach to positioning? This is a great foundation to every thought and thinking across verticals, right? Okay, great. I'm glad you guys are finding this valuable. So let me give you the example of the Apple iPhone and the Amazon Fire Phone and kind of tell you there's a lot of reasons why the iPhone 5 did really well versus the Amazon Fire Phone. That was one of their biggest failures. And a lot of it comes down to this. And so this has been brewing since those years when I actually worked on the launches of both of those products and came to realize how important it is to understand that your unique attributes are not your unique value proposition and your positioning is not your unique value proposition or your unique attributes, right? I think that's a trap that a lot of us fall into, and it's really good to understand. It's actually really important and key to your business to understand the difference between them. So the Apple iPhone 5, I mean, it's a longer story. I'm going to condense it and give you guys the goods so that we can actually jump into how we do it. So the Apple iPhone 5 came out in 2012. And I don't know if you guys ever drop me a yes in the chat if you guys owned the iPhone 5. I know it's a really long time ago, but hopefully you remember whether you had that phone or not. Okay, so a lot of you did. I don't know if you guys remember what was so special about it versus the previous models, which were the 4 and the 4S, right? The 4 and the 4S. I had the 4S too, and I upgraded to the 5. But do you guys remember why you upgraded? Like, what was special about the 5? New shape and size. It was thinner. Yes, Carl, you used to work there. Awesome. That's the answer. It was very slightly thinner and very slightly lighter. That's it. The button, the intuitiveness, nothing changed from the 4S, except it was slightly thinner and slightly lighter. And let me tell you guys, I upgraded and I had to remind myself that this was a smaller, lighter phone. I couldn't tell the difference. But why did it do so well? Right? They made $3 billion. Apple made $3 billion the first weekend that they launched the phone. It was one of their biggest successes. Exactly, the way Apple positioned it. So great marketing, yes, but Amazon did some great marketing too. If you talk about just marketing material, they both did great marketing. But let me tell you what they did differently. So the iPhone 5, when Apple launched it, they knew that it had nothing actually special about it except for it being slightly lighter, like a few ounces, I can't remember exactly. So they asked themselves, so now they have their unique attribute. It's a little bit lighter, right? Unique value, I don't even know what the unique value is, but it's going to be slightly lighter, it's going to be slightly smaller. So let's ask ourselves, who cares? Are Samsung users going to care? Are Android users going to care? I doubt it, right? Like that's not going to convert somebody from Samsung or Android or something else. The answer was existing iPhone users. So had they tried to market it as the best phone on the market, it would have flopped. But they identified, who cares? It's our existing iPhone users are going to care that it's a little bit lighter and thinner. And why? This is where the gold is. Why do they care? Can anybody take a wild guess as to why existing iPhone users would care about it being slightly thinner or lighter. Boasting rights, exactly. Status, exactly. Need to have the latest gear, exactly, guys. This is exactly it. So they knew that their existing iPhone users are going to want to have the latest gear from Apple. And so they positioned the iPhone 5 as the best thing to happen to the iPhone since the iPhone. That was their positioning. And that got them $3 billion over a 3-day weekend.
Wow.
Brilliant, right? I mean, it's crazy. On the other hand, the Amazon Fire Phone, it was actually innovative. It actually had features that no other phone on the market had. It had, I'm trying to remember what it was called, Firefly, which basically was like Google Lens. So if you've heard of Google Lens, it's basically if you, I think if you put, I don't know an Android, but I think it's like you put the camera on an object and it'll tell you what it is, right? So Amazon came up with this technology called Firefly, where you could position your camera on a product and it would show you exactly what a similar or the same product would be on Amazon. It would just take you to the product page. And so now it's much easier. If you see something you like it, you can buy it. That was their unique attribute. And the unique value is that it's now easier to buy things from Amazon. How many of you guys were walking around thinking, oh my God, I'm not shopping enough on Amazon. I should find a way to make that easier for myself. I don't know anyone who did, right? So, and that's why, right? So they came up with the unique attributes. They talked all about the cool features and how innovative their product was, how cool this Firefly feature was going to be, right? None of us, like nobody was walking. I'm a huge Amazon shopper. I can't live without Amazon. And that is not a thought I had. And so they just stopped at the unique attributes. They didn't really think about what the value is going to be. They definitely didn't care or ask themselves, who cares? And forget about why they care, right? Exactly. So when they launched it, they actually lost, I want to say, was it 1.7 million on that product? And that was one of their biggest learning experiences and one of their biggest failures. So if you read any of the Amazon books, they always talk about the Amazon Fire Phone because there was so much that went into it and they just missed the mark on it. So hopefully you guys can see why I'm sharing the story. I know none of us here are like trying to invent the next mobile phone, and we're not selling iPhones or anything here, but hopefully you guys can see how a lot of us business owners fall into this trap of selling our unique attributes, thinking that is what our unique value is. And that's what our positioning is. And that's what goes into our messaging. We just take our unique attributes and then we just plug that into all of our content, all of our sales calls. Look at these cool new features we have, right? Okay, so.
And there, Raheen, I want to ask the question, do we all understand now that Raheen's explained that, do we all understand why positioning is important to our businesses, why positioning is important to your clients that you're serving, and why positioning is important to your own business to position your product, your SaaS, your agency? Does that make sense? It's almost like, I don't know, let me think of it. Okay, so you've got blindfolds on and you're trying to shoot darts and you have no idea where the dartboard is, and then you take your you do go through the positioning framework. Now you know who you're exactly how to position yourself, and you don't have blindfolds on anymore, and you're able to shoot the dart. You can see where the dartboard is, and you're able to shoot the right direction instead of shooting anywhere and everywhere, right? So I don't know if that example makes sense, but that's the closest I can probably relate to in terms of the positioning framework and why they're extremely important.
Hopefully you guys are asking yourselves right now, have I been stopping at my unique attributes? Maybe I've gotten to the unique value, but like I've never thought to ask myself, who cares? Because I always thought I knew exactly who cares. I know my target audience. Like how many of you, drop me a 1 if you feel like you've stopped at either your unique attributes or your unique value, and drop me a 2 if you've actually asked yourself the who cares and why, and you're kind of doing this already. I'd love to see.
Or maybe a 0 if you haven't even started on any of this, right? And you kind of have the blindfolds on for now, because that's what we really want to educate on and help you understand and figure out, so that you're not just shooting the darts everywhere and you're actually pointing to the dartboard.
So we got a lot of zeros and twos, which is really interesting to me. So you're telling me that none of you guys are stopping with your unique attributes. None of you guys, I'm guilty of it. Even after doing this for so many years, I find myself doing this all the time. I'm a techie and I find myself focusing on the features all the time. So that's great. You guys are doing way better than me if you're at 2. And then 0, yeah, if you're not really thinking about any of this at all. Somebody said,
yeah, it becomes Brian said, making mistakes thinking everyone is a potential customer. That is absolutely right. I think that is a big mistake as well. If we don't figure out who exactly is our customer, who our product is built for, and then similarly, when you gain that customer, you turn around and you're sort of trying to help them position their business, their product as well, so they can do better, right? The better your client does, the more wins you have, the longer they stay with you as well. So I think it's a full circle. It just doesn't stop at you figuring out how to market your product and your business. It's also going a step forward and helping your customers, your clients market their product and their business as well.
Yeah, let me give you a really quick example that I think will make a lot of sense. And I've seen this happen myself over and over again in the high level world. I see folks on a call, they're demoing the platform or they're demoing a part of the platform, and the prospect goes, hey, I know this platform, it's high level. So why wouldn't I just, you're selling it to me for $500 a month. Why wouldn't I just pay high level and get it for $100 a month or $97 a month, right? And that's when you start pulling out oh, I have customer service. That's going to be so much better because you guys all use Extendly, right? And then I have these snapshots, and I have the small business snapshot and all these things that you're not going to get from high level. Do you guys ever think about what your prospect is thinking about as you're telling them about all of these features, which are your unique attributes? They're asking themselves, yeah, but do I really need it? Is it really worth the extra $400 a month? Right. And so then it becomes harder for you to deal with those customer objections. But yeah, maybe I don't need it right now. Let me talk to my husband. Let me talk to my wife. I'll get back to you next week. Give me a couple of months. Let me sort out my life this month. How many of you guys have heard that, right? So if you're not talking to them about why this matters to that specific person, because they fall exactly into that market segment who cares about this value, you've lost the sale. Exactly.
Yeah,
okay.
it's almost like we're speaking different languages to the customers, and they want something else, and we're telling them about something else. And Chris, yeah, you said it right. They're getting overwhelmed with all of the information we're sharing with them.
Exactly. Yeah. So they're trying to decipher the why they care about these cool new features that you're telling them because you're not doing it for them. Can you give an example if someone said that to you? Oh, all the time. Do you mean, wait, which one? Lisa, if you can tell me what you mean by that question, can you give an example if someone said that to you, on a sales call where I'm the prospect or where I'm it's just high level. Well, so that's why I talk about the why. So I used to do ManyChat. We had our own app when I was selling high level as an agency. We used to have we used to use a lot of ManyChat. I was a ManyChat coach, and we had our own proprietary tool that we used to call Magic Bots. It was in our that's the unique attribute, right? So it was in our GHL, and we were showing people how they could have these ManyChat what's it called, bots. But they didn't actually have to do anything because I would give them the templates. So I would give them my ManyChat templates. If you guys have ever used ManyChat templates, you know that they are not easy to actually edit and update. For people who don't understand ManyChat, who don't understand the whole flow thing, it is hard, right? And so what a lot of people do is put these yellow Post-its all over their flows to tell people what to update. ManyChat, M-A-N-Y. Don't go check them out if you don't know what ManyChat is. They're not relevant anymore because high level does everything. But those days, we used to have a tool where they could come into their high level, to our agency. They could fill out a form, and all of those, that form, the values that they were filling in there and saving would automatically update their ManyChat bots. So I think that was a pretty cool feature, right? And initially I kept, because again, I'm techie. Every time I was on a sales call, I would be like, hey, we have this. Nobody else has this. And then they would ask me, well, maybe I don't need that right now. First, I need to figure out my content. I don't know if I really need that automation, right? But when I realized that the question I should be asking them is, whatever little bit of content that you're putting out, if you even have a personal profile on Facebook, have you had anybody, not that you can actually put an automation on a personal profile, but if you're on social media at all, have you ever had anybody asking you a question about what it is that you sell or how they can book a call with you, and you didn't see it because it was in your message request or something for like weeks? What did that cost you, right? Versus if you have a bot that's like, yes, here's the booking call and everything, and then you're like actually bringing people from social media onto your calendars and actually being able to have a call with them. When I started talking about that, and that was, again, depending on who I was talking to, I would have them fill out a form to tell me what they were dealing with and what their whole social media situation looked like. And that's a much bigger conversation that I don't want to spend the hour here talking about. But that's an example, just a quick example of how when I pivoted and I was like, hey, so what are you doing when people reach out to you and are asking you what your booking link is, or if they have like a question about your product that you could be answering on an FAQ, what are you doing about that? How many sales are you actually, converting from those messages? So hopefully that helps. Okay, so let me show you what we do now with the agencies that we work with, how we're actually addressing all of this now. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so I know you guys know that you're on a heyLevi webinar. So clearly we use heyLevi for a lot of this, and that's what we're going to show you guys today. So some of the things that we do with heyLevi, and the AI that we leverage, so that's OpenAI right now, but with our backend prompts and everything, how heyLevi helps us segment our audience, create our buyer personas, so we know the who cares part, right? Positioning and messaging, answering the who cares and why, our elevator pitches, how do we actually use that when we're talking to people in real life or on a call, like how do we explain our product, and an entire sales strategy brief that combines all of this positioning and messaging is in one place for our entire team to reference. And now we can pull that into every piece of sales copy or marketing content that we create. Just let me know if there are any questions. I'm seeing some messages.
I think we're good. We can see
Okay.
the screen. It's just,
all right. We're only seeing a part of your screen, really? Yeah.
No, I think we're good, Raheen. It's just a graphic, the way it is. That's probably why it looks like that.
Oh, okay.
But
okay, yeah.
We can see the entire slide.
All right. Okay. So now I'm going to actually jump into seeing it all on your screen. Okay, awesome, guys. We're going to jump in to heyLevi. Okay. Let me know if you can see my screen now. It should be a smaller size now because I'm not using my entire wide screen here. Okay, so this is the insides of heyLevi in case you guys have never seen it before. It kind of where you land right now. But the cool thing about this is that what it does is it actually helps you build out every single product or service that your business offers, and then do all of the things that we just talked about so that it can live in your account. So you're not doing any of this. The AI is actually creating all of this for you, your buyer personas, your positioning, your messaging, all of that, right? So, so if I go in there, we have a few things built out here, but I'm going to show you how simple it is to build this out. By the way, guys, this is white labelable. So we've just used a yellow and black dark mode setting here. This is really, you integrate it into your white label high level, and you can change the layout and the colors and everything. Okay, so the example that we're going to use today is called Ryzen CRM, which is meant to be, let me show you guys the landing page, the sales page for it. So this is a white label CRM. Is it actually one band, or is it just an
no, this is the demo page that we use for content. Yeah.
So this is a hypothetical white label high level CRM, high level agency that is in the pizza industry. So this is specifically for pizza restaurant owners. Okay. Yeah, it is a paid app on Marketplace, but it's not available publicly on the Marketplace because we want to keep it white label to you guys, and we don't want to have it be visible to your sub accounts. Okay, so this is the example we're going to take. We're going to take an agency. Hopefully it's similar to yours in some way because it's also a white label high level. And we're going to build out the positioning and everything for this agency. So hopefully you'll see a lot of this come to life. So the first thing we need is the name, it's Ryzen, and what it is, right? So I'm just going to copy this. It helps if you guys already have a page with some of this on it, and then you can update the copy with what the AI gives you. But to start with, let's just give it some basic information.
Hang on, if there's a couple of questions around what is heyLevi and how can I get this tool? So I just want to address that real quick before we get into it. Can I get a 1 if you know what heyLevi is, or a 2 if you have no clue what heyLevi is? Just to sort of gauge. Okay, so it looks like we've got a mixed batch here with folks. 1.5. I love that. All right, so a lot of our guests don't know what heyLevi is, and some of you guys, a lot of you guys do as well. So while Raheem's working on this, entering in the information here, heyLevi is an AI app that is promptless. It's prompt free. You don't have to prompt it to write the content. It's also sales and strategy as well, and it allows you to do positioning as well, just like what we went over. You can go ahead and check it out. It's heylevi.ai there if you want to check that out. But we can go over how it works and all of that right after Ruheen's through as well.
Christina just said hers is called Hey Lexi. Can I just tell you how much I love that? That is so cool. Yeah, so also to go with what Beat just said, in case that was a test for how well we've positioned ourselves. There's a lot of noise in the high-level industry world about AI right now, right? And the AI that most people are talking about is conversational AI. And so you really want to think about heyLevi as strategy AI. That's what we like to call it. It's a copywriting app as well. Like it'll do all of your sales copy, all of your marketing copy. But what it does better than anybody else is it actually helps you dial in your strategy. And so we've already looked at why, if you're creating content, if you're writing any sort of sales or marketing copy without understanding your positioning, your who cares and why, it's not going to resonate as well as if you actually have all of this dialed in. So that's what makes it special. Yeah, it's white labeled. Okay. The Dark Lord, by the way, is Kanal, in case anyone's like, what the heck is that? The Dark Lord is Kunal Jora. Let me just say that he's the developer for the app. He created. He's done all the programming and the actual creation of the backend of the app. All right. Okay. So what I did here was, this is the product wizard. Hopefully you've got more context into what we're doing here now. So this is white labeled into our demo agency here. We've called it heyLevi AI, but you can call it anything that you like. You can change the colors and the way this looks and make it really look like your brand and your high level. But when you come in here, so each of your sub accounts, each of your customers will be able to do this for their own business. So they're going to be able to come into the product wizard. You put in a name for every single product or service that you do. In this case, it's the CRM. A one-liner description is good enough. You can leave that as English unless you're looking to do this in a different language. Pick whether this is a product or a service. In this case, it's a CRM, so it's a product. You can list out as many competitive alternatives here as you'd like. And then who is your target audience, right? You can actually come back in here if you serve multiple audiences and segment each of them separately. But in your initial setup, you'll just pick your main core or at least one audience to start with. And then you'll build out your personas for that one audience. So in this case, I already did that part, and it's created 3 buyer personas for me. So let's just take a quick look at what those personas look like. They're not your typical like demographic and pain points kind of personas. This is a 55-year-old pizza restaurant owner located in a small town, running his family-owned business for over 30 years. So he's been doing this for a while. His deepest fear, right, is becoming obsolete, losing customers to fancier, more technologically advanced competitors. He struggles with technology, often feels overwhelmed. And his pain point is, in marketing his business effectively. And this is what he relies on. He relies on more traditional methods like newspaper ads, word of mouth recommendations, but he knows he needs to evolve. Now, if you guys have worked with buyer personas before, It's very common for buyer personas to stop here. It'll talk about the demographic. It'll talk about, who this person is, where they live, what kind of lifestyle they have. And it'll tell you about their pain points. Kind of stops there. This is what heyLevi again does differently. It will really dial into their social, emotional kind of core beliefs to give you a really cool like insider insight into who this person is and how you can speak their language. So core motivators are preserving the legacy of his family business and maintaining customer loyalty, right? That's what's really important to him. He values tradition, community engagement, product quality, and excellent customer service. These things all heavily influence his daily decisions as he grapples with whether or not to invest in new technology, right? So if you don't know all of this and you just go to him and tell him your CRM is like the coolest futuristic thing with all this AI built into it, any guesses on whether this kind of a person would actually convert?
Yeah, remember, using that dart and blindfold example again, now we have a very clear picture of who exactly our target audience is and how we need to position our product for that avatar. And that's what's really important. Remember, guys, we made that promise of we're trying to get 100 SaaS agencies to achieve the SaaSpreneur, and we wanted to have this training here to help you guys really understand, so you're able to go out and market your own brand, your own product appropriately using something like this. You don't have to use heyLevi, but it's extremely important for you to understand what the positioning of your business, your product is. And by all means, feel free to use heyLevi as well and help you shortcut that process to get there.
Yeah, I just saw this question from Jeff. Did I miss how you gathered that information? Are you referring to the information on the buyer?
So they're talking about the persona description that the app provided. So if you scroll up a little bit, what happened was Ruheen entered in a few of these pieces of information: the name of the business, the description, and then she selected a language and she typed in if it was a product or a service, who the competitive alternative was, and a target audience. So that's the piece of information that she provided. And she pressed regenerate or generate personas. And then the AI went to work and generated that information on that avatar.
Yeah, Carl, we like to think of it as our cheat code too. So that's all I put in. I just put in this basic information. The AI does everything else for me. So it generated my personas. I can edit these if some of this is not resonating. I can regenerate them. I can edit them. It actually segmented my audience into 3 parts. Okay. So this was one that we looked at. And then also each of these personas, by the way, also end with how you as a business can actually engage with this kind of a person. Okay. There's 2 other personas as well. So this is a younger pizza restaurant owner. She's left a corporate job. She enjoys an upscale lifestyle. Her biggest fears are falling behind trends. So this is actually the opposite, kind of the opposite. The previous guy is more worried about like, how does he save his family tradition and values and keep current with technology as well. For her, she's actually worried about like probably losing out on the current trends. And so she's our iPhone 5 user here. There's a question about HR Pro Tools cover heyLevi and their help offerings. No, but Extendly does. Extendly is our guys. So they are
Brian, let's bring you over to Extendly. We'll take care of all the support stuff there. But no, HL Pro Tools definitely does not. It's heyLevi. Extendly is actually a partner in heyLevi, so it is something that we support ourselves as well. And someone asked, if there's instruction on how to integrate heyLevi to heyLevel. When you sign up, there's step-by-step instructions that help you take care of that.
Yeah, Jessica, heyLevi is on the marketplace, but it's not a public app. So we email you a link when you sign up with us. We email you a link and show you how to register for it, but you wouldn't be able to find it on the marketplace. So we'll go over that as well. Okay. All right. Okay, so yeah, so you can see that this is a totally different persona, right? This is somebody else who, if you know who you're going to be getting on a sales call with, or if you're going to a convention, and you know what kind of people are going to be there, now you know how to speak the language of whoever you're going to be speaking with. And then understanding her need for trendiness and effective online presence. Well, you as a business can engage with her by highlighting how smart automated marketing can help her stay ahead of the industry trends. This is when you would talk about the AI and stuff, right? And then you have a franchise Fred. So this guy is the owner. Hey, we should just rename Fred to Banth. You saw that coming. I know you're not 45 yet, Banth, but you're not too far. So this guy is the owner of multiple pizza franchises in a large city, enjoys a comfortable lifestyle. His deepest fear is not being able to maintain consistency across all of his outlets. Actually, Banth, if you want to jump in at any point to kind of talk about this stuff, that'd be great too.
Yeah.
His main pain point is managing the different aspects of each location and then making sure that everything stays consistent across all of these locations.
This one's actually very on point. I can relate 100% to that persona. The reason why I'm saying that, guys, if you don't know, I also own franchise stores. We own about 8 pizza locations. So that persona that she pulled up is exactly me that she's talking about.
Yep. And then there was a question about whether this is the why. This is kind of diving into the why a little bit, but you'll see more of the why and the who cares coming when we get to the positioning part of it. So hopefully you guys have seen that I just plugged in these basic things. So far, that's all I've plugged into the system. And now it's given me my 3 personas, really, really deep and detailed into each of my personas and how I can engage with them, what matters to them, and why. I plugged in the URL for this page here. So this is the landing page for the CRM. I plugged that, where'd it go? Okay, so I plugged that in here, and then I hit the extract features and benefits, and it already did that for me. So it just pulled out all of the pain points, the features, the benefits on the page. And now this is the magic. I mean, I think it's all magical, but this is the positioning magic where all of this now comes together to give you your positioning and messaging strategy.
It's given us quite a... Sorry, go ahead.
Stacey's trying to sell you, Banth.
Oh yeah, Stacey, absolutely. Let's do it.
While this is thinking, I'm going to see if there are any other questions.
Yeah, so it's given us pain points. It's given us exactly who the customer is, what their day-to-day life is. Ruben, yes, there is a trial period. I believe we do a 7-day period, right? Right, Rain?
7-day trial, and then you have a 30-day money-back guarantee after that too. So you have plenty of time to use it.
Yep. So pain points, features, benefits, it's given you all of that information already. That's quite a bit information that any normal business, any local business, matter of fact, a lot of us SaaS businesses also don't have on our product, on our potential customer as well. And it's now going to give us the positioning message and elevator pitch and a few other things.
Yep. So here's everything that we were talking about. So here are all your value propositions, right? So you've already, it's already pulled out all the features and the benefits and all the unique attributes and what the basic value is. So now it's turned that into your propositions, multiple, because you have different personas. So it's actually creating this for each of your personas. So when you talk about the who cares, now you're really dialing into not just pizza restaurant owners, but each of these individual segments. Can we get 4.0? Jay, you're referring to the new OpenAI model, right? So you plug in your own OpenAI key to the system. So we don't bill you for usage at all. You're paying raw cost to OpenAI, which is cents. It's pennies on the dollar. But yeah, as long as your OpenAI account, your API account, not a ChatGPT account, but as long as your OpenAI account has access to any model, you can plug it in. It is AI magic, yeah. Okay, so let's expand this and see everything that it's done for us here. Let's see how big I can get this on my screen. Okay, so let's skim through this really quick, but basically it's pulling out each of these propositions, right? So turning missed calls into orders. The buyers are small-town pizza restaurant owners anxious about keeping up with tech. Who cares and why? So this is the part that we were talking about earlier, the who cares and why. So it's dialing in all of this stuff for you. It's telling you exactly which persona would care most about this feature, why they would care about it, and the tagline you can use in your messaging, right? So whether this is written content or on your sales page or whatever, turn missed calls into cheesy wins. Hey, like that. And then, okay, so then the next value prop is bringing back lost customers. The buyers are the new age urban pizzeria owners who value engagement, and the who cares and why. Again, I'm not going to go through each of these, although I'm going to talk about what they're going to get and how they're going to be able to go through all of this in leisure. Band.
Sorry, I was paying attention to the chat, but
so I was saying let's skim over these instead of going too deep into this. I wanted to bring the point across. There's a lot to go over here.
Right.
But we're going to give you guys all of this in a positioning deck, right? So you can take, if you're already in a niche, if you're already serving a niche which has local mom and pop shop businesses, this is going to be directly relevant. And if not, you can edit this either manually or use heyLevi to update it for the niche that you serve.
I forgot to mention that at the start of the webinar, but I'm glad you brought it up. So what she's referring to is everyone who attends one of our webinars that we do, we give away a freebie. In this case, the exact content, the positioning statement we're putting together, we're going to put this in a positioning deck and deliver it to you guys so that you have it as reference for yourself. This is available to only those attend our webinars. If you're catching a replay, I do apologize. It will not be available to those. But if you attend any one of our webinars, we always give away a freebie that's useful to you. So you guys will have access to a positioning deck around this as well.
Road to 100 is right. When you just said road to 100. Awesome, guys. Okay, so you can see how it's created value propositions, the who cares and why, and taglines to go with that who cares and why. So in case you're like, okay, but how do I actually turn this into positioning? Like, how do I turn this into messaging for my product? This is how you do it. So it's all saved in here. And then it also goes into some parallel markets, right? So we really want to dial into all the markets that would care about your product. And so it's going to give you some parallel markets, alternate product positioning strategies to consider, parallel markets to consider if you ever want to expand, who you offer your product to. These are some ideas there. And then just a rough, like you don't want to take these too literally, but like basic pricing structures that could work for each of these niches. Right? You have your, some fast scrolling there. You have your 3 different elevator pitches here that you can use. Again, dialed into each of those buyer personas. You have a product brief, which is basically how you want to talk about your product. And then a longer sales brief that basically takes all of this and kind of puts it into a sales brief that you and your team can use. And this is actually, these are called sales enablement assets at larger tech companies. The product marketers, the product marketing function or the team will create all of these sales enablement assets and then pass them on to the marketing team, the sales team. This is so that everybody's speaking the same language, right? So you can actually emulate what these larger tech companies are doing through this app because you get to do all of this, create all of this, save it to your account, and then pull all of this into all of the copy and content that you generate. So I'm going to save this. And hopefully it saved it. Let's see. Oh, it already exists. Shoot, because we already did a different kind of Horizon CRM.
Just call it pizza.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Let's say, there we go. Okay, so now we have it. So we have this old Horizon CRM. Okay, so this one is for the pizza restaurant specifically. Now I can go in here and I can edit this at any time. I can still access all of my personas. I can edit my information as, my strategy evolves. I can come in and regenerate if my positioning starts to feel like it's not resonating anymore. I can come in here and regenerate it, rework it at any time. And now it's available to my team. And you get to white label this and also teach each of your businesses, the ones that you serve, how they can leverage this to perfect their own messaging as well, right? And actually create copy and content that's coming from a place of strategy versus just what everybody else is doing.
So on that note, I want to ask a question to you folks. How many of you guys think if you did something like this for your customers, that they would be just amazed and would turn around and say, all right, sign me up. I'm ready to go with you, right? If you maybe you guys someone can put together this into like a lead magnet or something of that nature and create an opt-in and say, hey, we'll do your positioning for you for free to try us out, right? And then you serve this to them and take 10-15 minutes to put this together real quick and share it with them. And you've given a good amount of content to a prospect and you're wowing them to bring them on as a potential customer. I think it would be very useful. Not something we've tried, but I would encourage someone to actually try that out and see how that goes.
Yeah, sorry, I laughed in the middle of your sentence there. Sorry. I was just laughing because somebody asked, Ruben asked, do we need to wear red frame glasses? You need to wear pink glasses, guys, if you want to do this right. Okay, ton of questions here. Okay, there was a previous question, actually, it's kind of gone right up. And I know that somebody asked, like, how do you justify this as a monthly subscription? So I want to put that question back to you. How do you see yourself using this? Do you see yourself using this as a one and done? You feel like you don't need a monthly thing, like once you generate it once? Once you generate it once, you're done and you don't really need to do it again. And while you're thinking about that, so this is just the first part of what heyLevi does, right? So let's actually talk about what you do with this. Now that this is in your account, first of all, positioning, it's never a one and done thing. You always want to stay current with the market. And so when your messaging starts to not resonate as much, and we've done this multiple times in our own business as well, you really want to keep a pulse on the market to see if your unique attribute and value is suddenly no longer unique. If somebody else, like let's say there's a new competitor, whether it's a free competitor or like a paid, business that's competing with you, if they have a similar offer or they're providing the same value in either a similar or different way, you need to pivot, right? And I'm sure you guys know this, like you have to keep pivoting. You have to keep up with the market. Your market isn't staying the same. And so if you stay the same, you're going to get outdated pretty quickly. That doesn't mean you need to do this every day. You probably don't even need to do it every month. You may just need to do it every 3 to 4 to 6 months, maybe a year, depending on which niche you're in. And maybe the market isn't moving as fast. If you're in any sort of technology related niche, and I think most of you are simply because you're selling Go High Level.
And you may want to do this every time you launch a new product or service as well, right? It's not just your business. Your business is one thing. Then every product and service, every offer that you launch, it's there as well. If you notice on the screen, it didn't allow us to save earlier because Ryzen CRM already existed. So we created one prior in one of the prior sessions just on Ryzen CRM. And now we created another one on Ryzen CRM Pizza, which is guided towards pizza businesses or that niche, right? So you can literally go in and create your own personas for different niches as well. If you're looking to change a niche, switch a niche, target a different niche, whatever the case may be. More importantly, though, it's not just for you, it's also for your customers as well, right? You want to help them set that up as well. Every time you get a new customer, you help them go through the same process and enlighten them on how to better position their product. This may change someone's business significantly and help them understand that they no longer need to have blindfolds on and be shooting in the dark and don't even know where the dartboard is, and instead shoot exactly where they need to point. And not only that, there's several other content modules in here that allows you to things like creating a lead magnet, creating blogs, social media content, website copy, ads copy, nurture email sequences. All of that is there. The product piece is just the beginning so that you can take that and now you don't have to tell the app about what your product is. The app already knows what your product is, who your customer avatar is, and now it'll be able to generate copy taking that into account.
Yeah, just as an example of that, let's so any one of these, now that you've created your strategy and your product, you can just pull these in. So whenever you need like copy, let's say you want to send out this, oh, this is the nurture thing. Let me pick a quick and easy one. Um, let's do this one. So basically, if you're like, okay, I need to send out an email campaign, a single email, right? A promotional email, and I need something. Now, if you go to ChatGPT, you're going to be like, this is my business. This is what it does. This is the unique attribute. This is the unique value. Now write an email that does this, this, and this. It's for this audience. Make it sound like this. Like we've all been there, right? Like if you've used ChatGPT, you know that there's a lot of work that goes into that prompt. With heyLevi, let's just say we want to send out a promotional email about our Ryzen CRM for pizza business owners. I'm going to select all of this. Let's say I want this to be for my franchise owners. All of this is already pre-filled. If it's a theme, like let's say, I don't know, Memorial Day is coming up, right? That's the next, I don't know if it's going to create anything fun for Memorial Day. It's not meant to be a fun thing, but okay, let's just say Memorial Day. This is optional. If you just need to get an email out and there's no specific theme that you're creating it for, just leave that blank. You can leave this blank too, but if you want to target a certain readability level, you can add that in there. Tone of voice is always good. There are all these inbuilt ones or built-in ones that you can choose from, or you can type your tone of voice as well. I'm going to leave all that blank just to kind of show you what it creates with what you've already built out. Just change the custom menu link to open a new tab. Okay, yeah.
Jack's asking, can you create regional personas, example, New York versus Texas?
Oh, yeah. So what you would do is, remember I was saying you can go back into your product and you can create more audiences. So your first audience would be, what was it? Where's the question?
A couple messages up, jackpots.
Okay, so so I thought that was context on like who in New York versus Texas. So let's say pizza owners, right? Your first audience could be pizza restaurant owners in New York, and let it segment that. And then you go through the whole process, kind of save it in there. And then you can come back and say pizza restaurant owners in Texas, and then segment that separately. So now you have different niched target audiences, and then those are further segmented as well.
Juan said, how can I apply this to restaurant, kitchen, hood cleaning businesses? Juan, in the same exact manner, you just provide the few options, the description items that it asks for based on the business type you're targeting, whatever your product or service is. And it'll, similar to how it built this for pizza restaurants, it'll build it out for your business as well.
There's a question around where do we log into Extendly to see the various apps? I don't know if you want to answer that, Banth. It's not there in the apps.
Yeah, it's not in the heyLevi is independent of Extendly. We just happen to have a partnership on the back end. We do also support the app as well. Also, but you go to heylevi.ai, and that's where you can access heyLevi and all of the information, including signing up and pricing and whatnot as well, which we can also go over since there's a good amount of questions around that once Ruhin's through this.
Yeah, I'm just dropping the link in the chat. I'm typing with one finger here. Right. Okay. But yeah. So yes, just to show you the email that it came up with. Ever wonder how Memorial Day could be more than just a day off? What if it's the perfect time to fire up not just your backyard grill, but also your pizza franchisees? Having a tool that works as hard as you do. I won't read this whole thing because it's pretty detailed, but I actually like what I'm seeing here. Let's talk benefits. This is the results. This Memorial Day, we're honoring heroes like you by offering tier-based subscriptions. I actually love that part. I don't know about you guys. There are so many times when I've tried to ask ChatGPT to give me an email that I can send out quickly, and it's never something that I would use without a lot of editing and finessing and reprompting to get something that's actually usable. So hopefully you guys can see how easy this was. You create all your products and services, and then you just pull them in. And you can create sales copy, marketing copy, whatever you need, social media copy, your sales page copy. Exactly. Now it's dialed into your audience better than just a cold email.
I love that the let's talk benefits, and it says say goodbye to missed opportunities. Our system instantly texts back an online ordering link to callers who couldn't get through. Now, as a pizza restaurant, you are blowing their mind by telling them that one benefit there, because you have no idea. Before we implemented heyLevel into our pizza restaurants, there were a lot of missed calls that the staff just could not get to, and those orders were potentially lost. We have no idea whether they called someone else or they actually tried to call us back later or not. But now we're able to text them back exactly in that manner, a link to our online ordering, and our online ordering has now gone through the roof opposed to phone orders. So that's a fantastic benefit there to highlight.
Well, there's a question here from Robert. How many products and services can you generate messaging / positioning for at a time? Do you do one, then delete, then do another? No, you just do them all at a time, one at a time. But you do it
But
for
you're able
one.
to save them.
What was that?
You're able to save them, just like how we had several of them in the previous page. You're able to save each of the products in there and go back and access them as you need to create content around them. How many can you create? I don't think there is a limit, right? Rain, do we have a limit? There's no limit on that. Yeah.
We want to help you grow your business. Growing your business means offering more products and services, and we're here for it. How confidential is the info in your subscription? I'm not sure I understand that, Sue. I'm not sure I understand the question. Robert, where do I sign up? heylevi.ai.
Since we're getting a lot of questions about that, Raheen, why don't you open up heylevi.ai real quick, and we can come back to. Well, was there more that you wanted to go through that, or did we already? I think we covered it, right?
Yep.
Fantastic. So let's go here. heylevi.ai is the website. Could you go to the pricing section so I can go over that and to help people understand everything? All right. So these are our prices: $79 per month for one location. That one location meaning one sub account inside your heyLevel. And then 5 locations is $199 per month. That's 5 sub accounts that can access. That could be you and 4 of your customers or 5 of your customers, however you want to do that. And then we have the growth plan, which is unlimited number of locations there that all of your sub accounts can have access to there. And yearly plan is right now on our beta pricing. So prior to this, we had beta pricing. Jessica, no, we you don't need an affiliate link from us to use this. So you just go ahead and go straight to heylevi.ai and sign up directly there. So if you click on yearly prices, Raheen, so these are on, previously we had beta pricing on the monthly plans as well. They've gone back up to our normal pricing right now. However, what we've done is temporarily until May 31st, moved the beta pricing over to annual plans. So annual plans are significantly discounted compared to the monthly prices. If you want to take advantage of that, feel free to do so. May 31st, the annual plan pricing goes away, and then it restores to the normal 2 months free type of a plan that you have. So there you go. That's there, and that's available till May 31st. There's a 7-day trial. Feel free to sign up, take a look, and there is a 30-day full money back guarantee as well. So you've got a total of about 37 days, something like that, to give it a shot. If you're not happy, let us know, or if you just want to go there, use it, and get your positioning and stuff done, and create some content, and then do that as well. That you're able, but you'll likely see how much you're going to fall in love with the app, and how much productive it'll be for you. Is that for the first year or forever, Greg? It is forever. So once you sign up for whatever price plan you sign up for, your price doesn't go up. Your discount stays at that price point.
Yeah.
All right, so there's the questions around everyone who was wondering what is heyLevi and how do I sign up. That's there in front of you. If there's any more questions on that, feel free to ask. In the meantime, Rahin, let's go back to the app and
Can I answer some questions really quick? There were a bunch of questions that just popped up. Does the discount stay if you upgrade? As long as the upgrade price is still available, yes. So if you were to buy, let's say, the growth plan, and well, then you wouldn't upgrade. If you're on the value plan, then you want to upgrade to the growth plan. And if the price has already gone up, unfortunately, you wouldn't get grandfathered into a different plan, but you would get grandfathered into whatever plan you're on.
yeah, so if you forever wanted to stay on the value plan only, and that's the plan you want to stay on, then no problem. You definitely can, and it'll be grandfathered into that price plan forever. But if you, let's say after May 31st, then you decide, hey, I want to go ahead and upgrade to the growth plan. The growth plan by then would have gone up to its regular price. Then you would have to pay the regular price to upgrade at that point there.
Yeah, lots of questions about standalone app. We don't have a standalone app just yet, so you would have to have GHL to be able to use this. We are considering a standalone app, and if and when that comes out, that would replace the starter plan. Anybody on the starter plan would just get upgraded to the standalone. The standalone will not be $39 a month, and so if you're already on one of these plans, you would keep that pricing. Can you control which? Oh, sorry, I just realized I could already answered this question.
Yeah, could you actually show that as well, Roheen, the white label portion of it? There were several questions around that also.
Yeah. So what are we asking? The feature tier? So this is where you can
first off, let's go over the branding and stuff, and then we'll go into features.
Cool. Yeah. So let's say your brand is like a teal color. You do light mode. There are all these different layouts that you can play with. You can preview them, see what they look like, match your branding. There we go. Features. So feature tiers is where you can add as many feature tiers as you'd like, depending on how you're selling this. So it comes with a disabled and a base tier, but adding a tier is as easy as, and you can add as many tiers as you'd like, unlimited tiers, where you control the monthly word limit, and we have the math breakdown and everything on how OpenAI charges you based on the model that you're using. You can choose whether to show any features that you're turning off. So any feature tiers that don't have access to all the features in the app, you can decide if you want to create FOMO and upsell them and show them as locked modules, or if you just don't want them to know what they're missing, maybe it's not relevant to your niche, you can turn that off, and then that specific feature tier will not see what they're missing if this is turned off. If you do have any custom prompts that you love or that are niche specific to you, you can actually upload them and have them be a part of the UI. So you would do that here. Here's where you choose what model you want to use. We're still using GPT-4. I know that there was some talk about the new one. The new one, what is it called? Something that one is great. It's new. It's the newest model, but we are seeing that it does every once in a while produce gibberish. And so for that reason, we are still using GPT-4 on our end, but really it's up to you. So you can choose if you want a different one for the content generation. The chat model is your brainstorm AI here, where you can have a back and forth conversation. It's voice enabled. You can choose your voice here. You can have a male, female, different accents, all of that here. And then here's where you figure out if you want to offer some features, all features, or if you just want to sell a feature tier with just the products and the services, you would just select none. And if everything is turned off, the only thing that will be turned on, because it's a core functionality part of our app, is the products and the positioning that we just did. That's like the core of our app. And so that is something that you wouldn't turn off unless you just turn it off and disable access to an account. But yeah, that would be none. And then if you want any of the marketing or sales copy modules, you can control that here. So you can be like, I want to give them access to the $100 million offer module by Alex Hormozi. lead magnets, ad copy, whatever. So yeah, you do all of that. You turn on or off whatever you'd like, and then you hit save. Lots of questions. Is there anything that I need
Yeah, I'm
to?
answering to the as many as I could, but I did miss a few. So Roheen just explained how you can do the feature tiers and white label the app in here, and all of that as well. If there's any questions around that, feel free to ask. But Sue is asking, hey, Beyond, can we have, so we have until 31st of May on this pricing? Yes, that is correct. 31st of May on the annual discounted pricing. The monthly pricing is at its regular price. That is not going away. That's there forever until there's a price hike or something, which I don't expect it there to be anytime soon. So that's there. The annual pricing, which is our beta pricing, which was our original beta pricing, that is going away on the 31st of May. So that I just wanted to clarify that.
Can I answer one of the questions by revealing what we're currently working on behind the scenes and what we're going to be coming out with in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah.
Brian asked what the website module looks like. So this is what it looks like right now. This is getting revamped because for those of you who are familiar with the StoryBrand framework, there will be a StoryBrand framework based brand profile that we're going to help you dial in. So all of the positioning and the messaging that we talked about per product, you're going to be able to use that framework to dial all of that in at a brand level as well. And then use that framework, the StoryBrand framework, to pull in all of that into your website copy and some other modules as well.
And so Sue asked a follow-up question. Are we safe that GHL will not be incorporating this directly just out of interest? I know they're launching an AI. So they've already launched their content AI, which requires prompting. Their focus is more on conversational AI, which is something we do not do. heyLevi is not conversational, so it's not a bot that's answering your questions back and forth from your customers. It's purely around strategy, sales enablement, and creating copy for your business and positioning, just like what we went over. And yes, we are positive they are not attempting to compete with this anytime soon. We are significantly far ahead in terms of development. From their focus is the entire app and adding additional features, not going deep into the space we are going deeper into. So I'm very confident that you guys are safe on that side.
Yeah, and if it's okay to share, I was on a spotlight session with Paulson a couple of weeks ago talking about this framework, and I talked about the 5-step framework for positioning, and he said something that was really interesting. He said that that whole process describes 5 years worth of journey that heyLevel went through in order to find their own positioning.
Fantastic. And yes, there will be a replay emailed as well, along with the freebie giveaway that we promised. That will be emailed along with that as well. Replays generally don't come out until about a week or so later, just a heads up.
Yeah, somebody asked for the YouTube module, so I'm just showing how that works as well. So you can bring in all this information, pick a topic for your video, and then it will create the copy for you, the script for you. How does it integrate with the rest of GHL? So right now, Brian, it doesn't. I think what you're asking is if it deep integrates into the email campaign or workflow modules. We are working on a way for you guys to be able to put this Kanal's going to kill me for saying this, sorry. But we are working on a way to push this out to your custom values. So you'll be able to pull it in to the other parts of GHL that way. But currently it does not deep link to the other parts of GHL now. Where in the app do I set what ChatGPT model the app uses? So Glenn, Just to clarify, because I know that this is actually a point of confusion. The Chat GPT, we don't bring in Chat GPT. So you, when you get heyLevi, we'll walk you through how to create your own OpenAI API account, which is very different from your Chat GPT account. So this has nothing to do with your Chat GPT account. This is all the OpenAI models. And then at the feature tier level is where you can decide what model you want to use for all the content generation modules versus the brainstorm chat functionality.
Awesome. And Jessica asked, where can I find the agency ID? I'm sure that's covered. Okay, so
that's in your welcome email.
There you go. Jessica, that's in your welcome email that you get after signing up there.
Yeah, you're staying tuned in here. Yeah, it's actually in your email. The video will just tell you how to use it or what to do with it to register for the app, but the actual unique agency ID for you is will be in the welcome email. VSL, YouTube, video sales, yeah. Trying to see if there's any questions that we haven't answered yet. Does this work on broader audiences as well? For example, B2B service providers? Absolutely. Same way that we did the audience segmentation, you would just pop in a description of who these B2B service providers are, like what kind of B2B services are they offering, and then it'll segment it for you. And if it's not specific enough to what the kind of B2B service providers that you work with, you can be a little bit more descriptive in your audience when you let the AI know what your audience is, and then I'll do a better job of segmenting that. Is there an integration with GHL email sending with automations? I think I answered that. StoryBrand is awesome. Yeah. What's the cancellation clause if you pay annually and wish to cancel after 6 months? So just like with any annual plan, you do get the 30-day money back guarantee. After that, it's non-refundable. You can cancel anytime. You'll still have access to the app until your billing period ends.
It just won't renew the following year.
Exactly. Replays will
No, it does not generate a video, but it will generate the script. I think that we're asking you were working on the VSL thing here, but it does generate the script, right? But not it doesn't generate the video itself.
If you want to look through the questions, I can kind of show how this one works.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll cover the questions while you focus on that. All right, I think we're pretty much caught up. Is there an application here for this to help us with a weekly newsletter? I don't think we have a content module that is around weekly newsletter, but you do have email campaigns and your single email themed campaigns that you can go and generate newsletters if you wanted to there.
So we have a nurture sequence module that basically is designed to take somebody from a point A to a point B. So your point A is like your lead magnet or the entry point. How are they finding out about your business? What are they opting in to show you that they're interested in something that you have to offer? Maybe they're booking a call. Maybe they're sending you a message and asking a question, or maybe they're downloading a lead magnet. It will take them from that point A. It'll create a sequence of between 7 to 12 emails. So those are 7 to 12 touch points. And SMSs if you want to add that in as well. The module does both, or just emails as well, depending on your preference. And then your point B. So what are you nurturing them towards purchasing from you? And that we've seen folks use, even though that was built specifically as a nurture sequence to take people from the lead magnet to a sale. We've seen folks use that as an ongoing thing. So they create all of their monthly campaigns using a point A and a point B. Like, what do I want to nurture my folks to this month? And then they do it that way.
Yeah, and Christina said a suggestion is a way to separate the email and SMS nurturing sequence into its own. We do have the ability to generate SMS campaigns separately as well. And there is actually a database reactivation SMS campaign generator built in here as well. built around Rob Bailey's framework. If you know who Rob Bailey is, he's known for the database reactivations. So there's that also. Who doesn't LLL? Yeah. Yeah, we worked alongside with Rob for quite a bit, and got an approval from him, and he was extremely surprised to see the type of content that it generated and how in line it was to his teachings.
Yeah, when I showed him that module the first time, his reaction was, wow, I've had people in my community try to use ChatGPT to create these, and everything I've seen has been hot garbage. And so, yeah, we've worked one-on-one with him to bring all of his best practices and teachings into that module. So yeah, this is kind of what a script looks like. In case anybody was wondering what I typed in here. So I pulled in the product information from the CRM Pizza product that we created, the audience and the personas, and then I picked a topic, how pizza restaurants can keep their customers coming back for more with the CRM that tracks customer preferences. Chose a tone of voice. Ryan Reynolds and Sarah Silverman are my two favorite tones of voices that I use very, very often. You can pick the length of your video, and then it creates this for you. And you can select any text if you want to like rewrite or expand. There's going to be more options coming soon as well. But that's how you can edit the content. You can just go in and type or edit whatever you need to. It's giving you ideas on what your visuals could be, what the narrator or the voiceover would be saying. Takes you through the entire script here. Until next time, this is Ryan Reynolds. Maybe you don't want to include that part. But yeah, so there we go. And then once you hit next on any of these modules, it will save the copy in your content history here for 90 days.
So you can go back up to 90 days to get access to it as well. There's several more questions in here, but before we get to those, I posted a feature release video yesterday about Brainstorm AI. Let's showcase that in case some of the folks haven't watched that yet. But there is a new feature called Brainstorm AI. You can literally tell the app to help you brainstorm, and there's a voice command option as well, which will also read back to you the content. Ruheen, if you want to ask something, or if anyone wanna, what should we brainstorm on? Let's just I'll ask everyone else. What should we brainstorm on? What should we tell the app to give us some ideas around? If anyone wanna.
What is brainstorming? By the way, the video, the little demo that you did, Banth, Kanal mentioned that I think you weren't recording audio from your browser, and so you couldn't.
Okay, so it didn't
talking back.
The audio. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. How can I start with sales? There's a lot of good suggestions in here. Why don't you pick one, Rahin, and let's ask it. How about a new product to sell on Amazon?
Who is gonna win? I don't know. I'm gonna pass on that one. Find a market for social scheduling. Let's ask a specific question so we get something that's useful. Okay, should we do the dental one or? Okay, actually, I like this one since we're talking about pizza restaurants. Let's keep it. Ooh, my chat is jumping around. Okay, let's try this one. Sam says brainstorm offering loyalty programs to Mexican restaurants. So let's ask. Let's see. What kind of loyalty programs would work best for Mexican restaurants?
There we go. So she used the voice command option to tell the app, and the app's gonna. There you go. It typed in exactly her question, exactly the way she asked it, Now it's going to go back and brainstorm some ideas and give us some content, and hopefully we can hear it, but it'll also talk back to us, so you don't have to read what it says. It'll talk to us and read it out for us.
1. Points program. Customers earn points for every dollar spent and can redeem these for free dishes or discounts. Various levels of rewards could be themed to different regions of Mexico or types of food. 2.
So hopefully we get that. Yeah.
There
Looks
we
like you guys Ryzen agencies to 100.
go.
If only it were a real agency. Finding a. Sorry, I see a lot of messages and I don't know what the context is. Put in churches, Facebook ads, dental. Wait, are these ideas on what kind of products or? Oh, you can choose the voice for the app. Yeah, I didn't love that voice. I think it changed at some point, right, Kunal? I think we had a nice, a
Yeah, you
friendly
can do a female version, a male version, and a few other different types in there. So you can definitely pick and choose which type of voice you want in the app as well. All right, hopefully, I know there's several questions that we didn't get to, but we are about an hour and a half in. Raheen, are you down to hang out a little bit longer if folks are wanting to continue with us? But if anyone needs to leave, you definitely obviously can. But we're happy to stay here perhaps for a few minutes longer and answer any questions you guys may have on the app.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys. This was fun. Hopefully you got a lot of value from it. Please feel free to let us know if you have any questions that come up after this. You can always email us, reply to any of the emails that you received for this webinar, or you can email us at help@heylevi.ai as well. Does it generate a PDF for the positioning? It doesn't yet, but it's I don't know if it's on our roadmap. So there's a public roadmap, just like how you do with heyLevel. Basically, you want to add your ideas to the public wish list, and then you can get your ideas upvoted by the community, and then we prioritize features in that way. I know that question has come up a lot, though, so that is a popular request, and we are going to be. I don't think we've scheduled it out yet, but we are trying to get that out this quarter.
Oh, and another important feature regarding help, Lisa mentioned, so that prompted me. Every single feature that we have in here, every single module that we have in here, if you can just click into one of them, there is a show me how button that tells you how to use that. So it's very, very intuitive. There's a quick video that goes over exactly how to use that feature. And then there is a little question mark up at the top as well that's built in where you can ask questions like, why X is not working, Y isn't working, or this or that. And it'll help you provide the appropriate answers there to troubleshoot. And then further from that, you're obviously also able to reach out to us, help at heylevi.ai for any additional questions you may have. We're happy to help there as well.
And I'm sorry if I'm repeating what you said just now, Bant, but I want to, just in case, I was just reading some of the questions, but this says agency help because this is the primary sub-account for this agency. Your sub-accounts, your clients will see account help, and those questions and answers are all white labeled. The show me how videos are all white labeled, so it's really self-serve, self-help. We want to take off the load from you guys as the agency owners so that you can just sell it and sit back, and then they can figure out how to use it. If they have questions, as long as they're using Extendly, they can always ask the Extendly or your white label version of Extendly support. And there was one more thing that I was going to say that just slipped right out of my head. But yeah, so lots of white label support options here.
In terms of sharing the output that the app produces with your customers, right now there isn't a PDF option that it creates or a link option that lets you, but you can simply copy, put it in a doc, turn that into a PDF, or share the doc with them. That's sort of the way for now. We may have the option to make it much easier for you to share if there's enough demand for a feature like that as well.
Although keep in mind that positioning and messaging strategy only works when you're directly pulling it into your content. So although you could do that as a foot in the door or like a lead magnet offer, I would highly recommend encouraging your customers to get your white label version of heyLevi so that they can create this for themselves. They can update it whenever they need to. And most importantly, whenever they need a piece of content or sales copy, they can pull that positioning strategy into the modules and actually create it for themselves. I bet you have to go into heyLevi settings and enable the sub account. Is that an answer? Oh, so the question is, I installed heyLevi and activated it in one sub account, but got this, please reach out to your service provider to onboard you. I'll let Kunal jump in with that. So that more than likely, we've seen that error show up when your custom menu link, there's something wrong with it. So we just want to make sure that your custom menu link is correct. And then also when a sub account gets onboarded, whether it's your primary sub account or a client sub account, when our system onboards that sub account, it automatically creates 2 custom values in that sub account with the word IGEN and an AIGEN. And as long as nobody changes the values of those custom values or deletes those custom values, it'll work. So it's only, usually we see those errors when one of these pieces is missing. But yeah, so the answer to your question is, if you're wondering, if you're not sure which one it is or how to fix it, go ahead and send us a loom showing us what's going on, and also send us your custom menu link, exactly how you have it in your custom menu link settings to help@heylevi.ai. And yeah, we'd be happy to check it out for you. There was an error compiling the provided custom value. So that error means specifically that the custom values are missing, or somebody's deleted or changed the values. Yep. Okay. Do digital animation customize videos for heyLevi? That question came up.
Right? I've seen that. At this time we don't, but again, if there's enough demand, we'll definitely do that. We do have. Do we have we haven't white labeled an explainer video for our audience, have we yet, for heyLevi?
Not yet, but we've been talking about this one, making this.
Okay, so there's one here. This is heyLevi branded, but it would be the same instance that you could use for yourself as well.
Yeah, we also, once you've onboarded and started using the app, we send you a bunch of gifts as well. So we send you a snapshot that includes a white label landing page that you can customize for your agency. It has a workflow. So once you make a sale, the workflow has an automatic welcome email that goes out to your customer. Again, obviously you can edit it. And then we also have a video showing you exactly what custom values you need to update in order to make those your own. There was a question here, and I can't see that right now, but there was a question about pricing suggestions. Sam's question, any suggestions as to selling prices? So we've seen our folks, our agencies are using it in so many different creative ways. It's actually pretty cool to see. So we have somebody selling just Charles Higgins, actually, if anyone's familiar with Charles. Charles sells his white label heyLevi with the social content, what is it called? Social media scheduler in heyLevel. Just those 2 features for $97, and then he upsells them, I think, into the rest of heyLevel. We have folks who are using it as a foot in the door offer, so they want to compete with like Jasper and ChatGPT, get people off of those platforms, and then upsell them into the rest of their heyLevel, and so their prices are comparative with that. Although heyLevi does offer way more than what either of these tools or any of the other tools on the market offer. So you want to be careful with that, because you don't want to sell yourself short either. We also have folks who are just wrapping up different feature tiers into their heyLevel SaaS tiers. So they just include different functionalities. Some of them are just the highest SaaS tier includes all the functionality of heyLevi. I've seen folks where even the highest plan only includes some features of heyLevi, and then they upsell them into the rest of heyLevi's features. So you can get really creative and really do it however, whatever works best for your offers and your niche. How is Extendly different from HL Pro Tools? Well, for one, Extendly supports heyLevi and HL Pro Tools doesn't.
Other than that, Kunal posted a good answer there. I lost where my chat went. Can I just say we're awesome? Can we just leave it at that? No, I'm just joking.
I found it.
Can I
HLPT is a
just
tech
second
support
that?
provider.
Brian, I think it was Brian who asked that question. And my things, if you just want tech support, there are a bunch of different companies. HLPT is one of those. If you want a partner to get your next 100 and 100, every 100 after that, you want to partner with Extendly. Don't go with anyone else.
Woo!
Thank you, sir.
Disclaimer, you do get 5% of every customer that Extendly gets.
Wait, what? What?
Saying disclaimer, I do get a 5% cut for these kind of things that I think.
He's trying to make sure his commission stays intact. Awesome. How much is Extendly? Odo, you can go ahead and visit getextendly.com/support if you want to check out our services. That's getextendly.com/support.
Somebody asked to see the social media module, so I'm just kind of walking through it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So it works just like every other module. You pull in your product, audience, persona. By the way, if you're ever doing this on the fly as a demo for your customers, the best way to do it is to actually create all of that product and positioning and everything, and then show them how easy it is to pull things in. But if you ever just need to demo a specific module without going through that entire process, you can also type into any of these and just type in your information for that. So what are we writing a post about? I mean, I'm sticking with the whole pizza restaurant owners theme here. What do we want to write about? I'm targeting Modern Mary. So I'm going to talk about how AI can maybe help. Or if you guys have better ideas, please put it in the chat. I'm just kind of making something up here. Leveraging AI.
Wait, while you're doing that, I'm gonna I don't know if we revealed this already or not, but in case someone didn't catch it, you continue working. Let me talk about this. Next month we are releasing a module called Brand Story. And Brand Story is built around Story Brand. If you guys know what Story Brand is, it's the first module that'll go in place, which will that you can then pull into all of the modules like website and whatnot, and it'll walk you through the steps to how to create a website. Pull in your content of your brand, the voice of your brand, and help you write the website, and so on and so forth as well. So that'll be next month.
Oh, nice. I just read this last comment that came up, Kelly. So bummed I joined so late. Can't wait to see the replay because my interest is so piqued. This is amazing, and my regular business is built on StoryBrand framework, so can't recommend it enough. Yeah, if Jay is still here, Jay Ko, we were on a Zoom yesterday, and I love something that Jay mentioned. I was kind of showing him a little behind the scenes. Hi, Jay. So yeah, I was showing a little behind the scenes of the StoryBrand framework and how it's going to build a brand profile. And Jay, feel free to put in what you said to me here if I misquote you, but he basically was telling me about a customer of his that paid, I think you said $25,000 to a marketing agency, I think, branding and marketing agency, to create a brand profile that basically had all the elements that we're building out here in the app.
Oh yeah, so I'm StoryBrand certified as well. And by the way, Jay, I just unmuted you, so go ahead and feel free to pitch in here. But what I wanted to say is, when you go to any one of the StoryBrand experts and you have them build out your brand profile, your one-liner, and all of that, they charge you a significant amount of money. But the app will be able to do that for you and your clients. Now you'll be able to position yourself to be able to charge that to your customers, because the app's going to give you all of that without needing to even learn it, really.
Jay, are you here?
Jay said, I'm still here. I was speechless.
Yeah, I see that he's unmuted, so hopefully, Jay, feel free to chime in.
Darren, I'm just gonna, yeah.
Oh no. Jay was saying he was talking, but no one could hear him.
Oh, sorry, Jay. Maybe something's up with the mic on your end, but you are definitely unmuted.
Yeah, just to kind of show off here what I was doing here on the side, the social media post, you can pull in your product, give it a topic. It pre-fills all of the rest of the information for you. You can pick which channels you want to create content for, or you can create it for all these different channels all at once. And then it does all of these different posts for each of your different channels. The backend prompts are using a different tone of voice for each social media channel based on what works best, but you can overwrite that by picking a different tone of voice here. And then you have your Twitter post here as well.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I was listening to what you were saying, and basically I became speechless because literally as she was saying it, I was envisioning the brand packet that one of our clients had given us a few months back. And I remember that costing them 25 grand. And she was literally going through each things. And I'm picturing it in my mind. I saw this in that packet. I saw that in that packet. And I'm just going, like, what just happened here? I mean, I'm sure it's not going to be as good as, 7 people in a room for 30 days, doing the thing that they're doing to earn that 25,000. But I mean, just the fact that this is going to be done in minutes or seconds. And, and we also mentioned about this could be like a stepping stone where you can take that to a marketing agency and say, I have something of a baseline. Can you guys make this better? And it wouldn't have cost 25 grand. So I can't wait for this to come out. My mind is blown.
Fantastic, Jay. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jay. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever worked with marketing professionals or any professionals. I have multiple times, and it's always this, what people don't see behind the scenes is that when they're starting from scratch, no matter how many forms you fill out for them, no matter how much context you give them, when they are starting from scratch, they will always give you first, second, third, sometimes more versions that are not going to resonate. And you're going to have to keep giving them feedback. And these things take weeks, sometimes months, before you land on something that you're like, okay, now this is close. Let's dial this in. So we're taking those weeks to months, even if you do want to hire an agency after that, which most of you, 70 to 80% of you will get everything that you need and more just from what you're going to get from the brand profile in heyLevi. But for those of you that are going or have a marketing team or are going to work with an external marketing team, if you have this baseline that you can create in just a couple of minutes, a few minutes, not couple, but if you spend just a few minutes on creating your brand profile story here, dialing it in, and then giving that to your marketing agency if needed, you're going to save months of effort and time, and hopefully the marketing agency will do the right thing and not charge you 25 grand at that point as well.
Awesome.
Anyone who wants this app needs a GHL account for now? Yes, it is only available through GHL. Why are personas and avatars deprecated? That's only because we were offering them as a separate, and an email actually just went out to everyone today, but though we were offering positioning and personas and avatars as separate modules in the app, but those are not connected to your products. And so they become a little bit meaningless when you can't actually use that in your content. So because those are now rolled into products and services, we're deprecating the individual modules by the end of the month, unless there's a use case where we want to make sure that this isn't pulling the rug out from anyone that's actually using it for a specific use case. But as long as the way we see it is that you should be pulling your avatars and your positioning strategy and all of this stuff into your actual ongoing content. And you can't do that from the individual modules. Glenn, that's a really, Glenn asked, if I was serving only pizza restaurants, how would StoryBrand work? Wouldn't the output be the same for the entire vertical? Vance, I don't know if you want to jump in because I know you're StoryBrand certified and you've been using this for your pizza restaurants as well.
Yeah, no, it's really based on the information you entered. I answered that question already, but it's really based on the information you entered now. And it's not really the same. All the, every pizza restaurant out there has their own unique attributes as well. Like for example, for us, we're fusion flavor craft pizza. Someone might be the low-cost pizza like Little Caesar, right? They're all different variations. So based on that information that you enter, every output is different. There may be, small amount of overlap, but in general, every output is going to be different.
Yeah, thanks for that. I just saw that you had answered that in the chat as well, but the extra content is amazing. All right, I think we've answered all the questions. I'm so sorry if we've missed any because I'm scrolling to make sure. Is there a timeline for integrating custom values? If Kunal is still here, I'll let him answer that.
I am, and I'll be honest, right now there is no timeline. We're working on it. We're trying to find the perfect solution to make it, trying to figure out what the best way is to get the best user experience from the app so it works for everyone. There's a very simplistic solution, which is going to screw up your custom values. So we're just working on that at the moment. We're working on it. There is no exact time. I can't give you an ETA and it's going to be available in a month or 2 months, but it will come out possibly early Q3.
Sarah asks, how do you usually get social media posts if heyLevi generates into Social Planner? Fairly simple, Sarah. You hit the copy button, you go into your Social Planner, and then you can paste them there. You can also copy them into a doc and then sort of copy paste them there as needed into the Social Planner. If you're referring to if there's a direct integration directly into the Social Planner, not at this time. As the app develops more, we will make those type of convenient features more and more available. But at this time, there is not. Simply you can, there is a copy button. You can simply copy it over into a doc or directly into Social Media Planner for now.
So Sarah, just to add to that, there's a lot of deep linking is limited by the APIs that we have access to through GHL. Now GHL is working towards having an API for every single thing that they have on the platform. But it's going to be a while before things for blogs and social media and other things come out. So if and when they come out, we'll try and see if we can integrate with that. But at the moment, like Bian pointed out, we're just going to have to copy and paste it into social media planners.
Correct. So the app is separate from GHL. There is an integration in terms of where you and your sub accounts can utilize it without having to log into a separate login. And they can just log in directly into your white label of heyLevel and go right into the app, the AI content writing piece of it. But in terms of any content that it generates, putting that into whether it's emails or websites or social media, it's copy paste for now until deep linking becomes available, just like Kunal mentioned.
Cool.
So right now it integrates. There is no standalone version of the app right now. It just integrates with GHL, and so yes, you would need to have if your customer would need to have a GHL account, and anyone who's on their team as a user on their GHL account would be able to log in and use the app for their team.
Jay, I just saw your question about where do I find the gift. I think it was emailed to you already, but if you want to email me or send me a text message to remind me, I can send them to you again. And then Sarah had asked, did Charles create a non-SaaS product that groups Social Planner and heyLevi together? So I don't know if you have a better answer for this, Band, but I know that the SaaS configurator doesn't let you turn off certain features right now. We have externally actually created CSS code that helps you turn everything else off. So you can turn on whatever you need to turn everything else off. And then you can just keep your custom menu link for heyLevi on, and whatever feature you want to. So if you want to do something like what Charles is doing, you can keep your social planner on as well. And then when somebody purchases that, they'll automatically get that account.
Yeah, essentially you create a SaaS product or SaaS plan that has all your base stuff in there, and you can hide that with the CSS, and you add the social planner to it, and then you don't hide the social planner, and you don't hide the whatever your white label of the heyLevi app is inside your high-level, and then the social planner and the heyLevi app will be visible there for you. Today's gift has not been sent out yet. That'll be sent out in about a week's time, right along with the replay as well. So today's gift, the copy that we generated, the positioning deck that we promised, will be in about a week's time. Perhaps the team can get it out sooner, but just to be on the safe side, expect it in about a week's time.
Yeah, anyone asking for that gift, like today's gift, the positioning deck that we created today, that's what Van's talking about. If you're asking about the gifts that I mentioned earlier, where we give you the snapshot with the landing page and the workflows and everything, a lot of you have gotten those already. If you've been with us and you haven't gotten that email, just send us an email, reply to any of the emails that you've gotten from us, and we'll get that over to you. But when you sign up for heyLevi, we encourage you to use the app a little bit, and then we give you all the tools that you need to resell it, and so then the gift will go out at that point. Why is there a prompt library in heyLevi? That's because if you have any custom prompts, I know I very briefly touched on that earlier, but if you have any custom prompts for your niche or something that's working really well for you, and you want to be able to offer that to your customers or specific customers, you can just upload those to your custom prompt library, and then it'll show up in that module. What's the positioning copies niche? I'm not sure I understand that question, Ray, but we just created today's webinar was all about, I don't know if you joined us late, but we just created all the positioning and messaging strategy for a demo CRM, white label CRM called Ryzen for pizza restaurant owners. And so that's what we created today. We're going to be giving that out. Even if you don't work in that niche, you can edit it to match more of what your niche is, or just get heyLevi and update it that way. Where can you get the CSS? Just email us. Again, just reply to any of the emails that you've gotten from us. Or you can email help@heylevi.ai and we'll get that over to you. I think I think we just answered all the questions. Yeah, Van?
That's all the questions.
Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us and for hanging out extra here.
Yeah, absolutely. Is the discount available on the value plan available after the 31st? The annual discounts will go away on the 31st that are there, so that will not be available after the 31st.
Yeah, Stacy has to go finish eating her pizza. So if you're in the Bay Area, come check out Van's Pizza Shops.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. You all have a great rest of the evening. Thank you for hanging out with us. We'll see you on one of our next webinars. We'll bring more educational content for you. Hopefully you learned about positioning today and the importance of positioning, so you don't have the blindfolds on and continue to throw your darts everywhere else, where you know exactly where to point. And like we shared, heyLevi can help you with that. If you would like to take advantage of it, feel free to sign up for the trial and give it a shot and build your positioning there as well. All right, guys, have a good one. Take care.
Bye.
It was obvious what killed this marketing agency, an overly convoluted assortment of mismatched and costly marketing tools that their clients couldn't understand. You need a high-level business. Extendly and heyLevi provide an all-in-one software platform plus 24/7 support, all under your brand for one low monthly price. So you can ditch the costly mess and start a new SaaS revenue stream with your white label solution. Click the link and start your free trial today.